Did you know that in the 1970s, the X rating was often a badge of honor for rebellious directors before it became synonymous with the adult industry? During this radical decade, filmmakers pushed political, social, and sexual boundaries so far that their work wasn't just rated. It was seized by police, burned by censors, and banned by entire nations. These 10 films represent the ultimate forbidden fruit of a decade that refused to play by the rules, proving that sometimes the most dangerous thing you can do is point a camera at the truth. Number 1. Salo, or The 120 Days of Sodom, 1975. A film so extreme that its director was murdered in a brutal, unexplained mystery shortly before its release. Pier Paolo Pasolini's final masterpiece is widely regarded as the most forbidden film in history. Set in a Nazi-occupied Italian republic, it follows four powerful libertines who kidnap a group of teenagers for months of systematic, ritualized psychological and physical torture. While it was intended as a savage political allegory about the corruption of power and the dehumanization of consumerism, its graphic nature led to it being banned for decades in Australia, the UK, and Germany. It remains a harrowing test of endurance that challenges the very limits of what can be shown on a cinema screen. Number 2. Last Tango in Paris, 1972. A cinematic scandal that resulted in the director and stars being stripped of their civil rights in Italy. Bernardo Bertolucci's raw, carnal drama starring Marlon Brando sent shockwaves through the global film community. The film's X rating was earned for its visceral, anonymous sexual encounters between a grieving middle-aged American and a young French woman. In Italy, the Supreme Court was so offended that it ordered all copies of the film to be destroyed, and Bertolucci was even sentenced to a suspended prison term for obscenity. It took 15 years for the ban to be lifted, and the film remains a controversial landmark in the history of unsimulated emotional performance and method acting. Number 3. A Clockwork Orange, 1971. The director himself withdrew the film from the UK for 27 years due to its influence on real-life crimes. Stanley Kubrick's exploration of ultraviolence and state-mandated behavioral control earned an X rating in both the US and the UK upon its release. However, after several high-profile copycat crimes were reported in British newspapers, Kubrick personally requested that Warner Brothers pull the film from distribution entirely. For nearly 3 decades, it was effectively banned in the United Kingdom, becoming the ultimate forbidden cult classic. It remains a focal point for intense debates on how media influences society and whether the state has the right to cure immorality. Number 4. The Devils, 1971. A film so blasphemous that its original uncut X-rated version has never been officially released by the studio. Ken Russell's historical drama about a 17th-century priest and a convent of possessed nuns features some of the most provocative and beautiful religious imagery ever filmed. Banned in several countries and heavily censored by Warner Brothers themselves, the legendary Rape of Christ sequence was cut from almost every version. Even today, the full, uncut, X-rated masterpiece remains a holy grail for fans of transgressive cinema, hidden away in vaults because it is still considered too explosive for modern audiences to handle. 5. In the Realm of the Senses, 1976. The film was seized at the Berlin Film Festival, and the director was prosecuted for obscenity. Nagisa Oshima's Japanese-French co-production depicts an obsessive, all-consuming sexual relationship based on a shocking true story from 1930s Japan. Unlike most films of the era, the sexual encounters were unsimulated, leading to massive legal battles. The film had to be smuggled out of Japan to be edited in France to avoid being destroyed by local authorities. It remained banned or heavily censored in most of the world for the better part of 30 years, standing as a testament to the new wave of explicit art house cinema that refused to look away. Number 6. Deep Throat, 1972. A $25,000 budget film that became a $600 million phenomenon and a federal court case. This film launched the porno chic era, where adult movies briefly became mainstream cultural events attended by celebrities and socialites in New York City. However, the government's response was swift and brutal. The lead actor was prosecuted, theaters across America were raided by the FBI, and the film was banned in at least 23 states. It remains the quintessential example of a film that was too successful to be ignored by censors, triggering a massive national conversation about the First Amendment, artistic freedom, and obscenity laws. Number 7. The Beast, 1975. A surrealist nightmare that was banned in the UK for over 25 years for its bestial themes. Walerian Borowczyk was a respected avant-garde animator before turning to erotic cinema, and The Beast is his most infamous work. It features a long, dreamlike sequence involving a legendary creature that shocked even the most liberal audiences of the 70s. Its bizarre blend of high art aesthetics, classical music, and explicit content made it a primary target for censorship boards across Europe, who struggled to categorize it as either art or pornography. It remains one of the most visually stunning yet controversial films of the decade. Number 8, I Spit on Your Grave, 1978. A video nasty that was banned in the UK, Canada, and several US states for its sheer, unflinching brutality. Originally titled Day of the Woman, this is the definitive rape revenge thriller. Its uncompromising depiction of sexual violence followed by a bloody, methodical retribution led it to be labeled as obscene and depraved by critics and lawmakers alike. It was one of the primary targets of the UK's Video Recordings Act in the 80s and remained banned there for decades. It continues to be a focal point for intense debate on where to draw the line between artistic expression and exploitation in the horror genre. Number 9, Pink Flamingos, 1972. An exercise in bad taste that was banned in several countries for a final scene involving real filth. John Waters' cult masterpiece was designed to be the most offensive movie ever made. From The Singing Anatomy to the legendary final act involving the drag queen Divine, the film earned an X rating for its sheer gross-out factor rather than just sexual content. It was banned in multiple provinces in Canada and Australia for years. Waters used these bans as free publicity, cementing Divine's status as a legendary icon of forbidden underground cinema and proving that bad taste could be a powerful artistic tool. Number 10, Cannibal Holocaust, 1980. Filmed in 1979, the realism was so terrifying that the director had to prove in court his actors weren't actually dead. While released at the turn of the decade, this 1979 production is the pioneer of the found footage genre. Ruggero Deodato's special effects were so convincing that the Italian government believed it was a real snuff film. Deodato was arrested and faced life in prison until he produced the murdered actors on a live television show to prove they were alive. Because of its extreme violence and real animal cruelty, it was banned in over 50 countries and remains one of the most heavily censored films in history. Which of these forbidden classics are you brave enough to watch? If you're fascinated by the films that the censors tried to hide, please like, share, and subscribe for more deep dives into the vault of censored film. See you in the next one.